It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing.
The Cleveland Browns sideline erupted into pure chaos when Shedeur Sanders reportedly confronted Dillon Gabriel during Sunday's game, a heated moment that insiders are now calling the spark that exposed everything wrong inside the organization. The tension had been building for weeks, but it finally exploded under the bright lights after Gabriel's disastrous second-half performance. Missed reads, blown throws, and miscommunication after miscommunication left fans chanting for one name, Shedeur. Everyone knew it. The cameras caught it, and from that moment, it was clear that the Browns quarterback controversy had officially gone public.
To tell him he's starting on Monday, like it's not going to happen anytime soon, I get it, but you got the Patriots, then the bye week. I was told by two different sources yesterday at the stadium. One said Shadour, Chris, will start the last 4 games of the season.
Witnesses on the sideline say Shedeur approached Gabriel after a costly interception, not with disrespect, but with visible frustration. Words were exchanged, voices rose, and before anyone could calm things down, players from both sides of the roster had stepped in to keep things from escalating further. For a franchise already under scrutiny for how it's handled Shedeur's development, this was gasoline on an open flame. Reports claim Shedeur had been ready to take over if Gabriel went down, his helmet strapped and game plan memorized. But instead of giving the rookie a chance, head coach Kevin Stefanski doubled down on his decision, keeping Gabriel in despite 3 turnovers and the entire stadium booing. That choice didn't just confuse fans, it angered players, who reportedly felt the coaching staff was ignoring obvious momentum. The camera shots told the story better than any report could. Shedeur pacing the sideline, jaw tight, headset off, while offensive coordinator Tommy Rees looked like he was caught between 2 worlds, the one that plays politics and the one that plays to win. When the final whistle blew, the Browns didn't just lose the game, they lost control of their locker room. Multiple insiders have since revealed that Rees privately confronted Stefanski afterward, demanding to know why Shedeur wasn't allowed to take a single snap. Stefanski's response, according to one witness, was that it wasn't the right moment.
Video, and it looked like Shedeur Sanders' Brown debut is currently underway.
But for players who had just watched Gabriel unravel, that excuse didn't sit well. One veteran reportedly said, "If that wasn't the right moment, then what is?" The Browns had built this season around discipline and structure, but on that Sunday, both completely collapsed. The world didn't just see a team fall apart, it saw a leadership crisis unfold in real time. What makes this situation even more explosive is the history leading up to that confrontation. For weeks, rumors had circulated about a growing divide between Stefanski and his offensive staff over how Shedeur Sanders should be utilized. Rees had reportedly been pushing for more reps and more creative play calling designed around Shedeur's strengths, while Stefanski insisted on sticking to the plan, a phrase that players have reportedly come to resent. Sources inside the team claim Shedeur has consistently outperformed expectations during practice, mastering playbooks, showing patience in the pocket, and earning quiet respect from veterans. But despite that, he's remained stuck behind Gabriel, whose recent performances have done little to justify his starting role. Sunday's game was supposed to be the moment that decided everything. Gabriel entered under immense pressure, with fans already questioning whether his confidence could hold up. By halftime, he had thrown 2 interceptions and missed several wide-open targets, and the frustration was written all over the faces of the offensive unit. Rees reportedly approached Stefanski at least twice during the game, suggesting a switch to Sanders could inject life into the team. Stefanski refused both times, stating that "we're sticking to the script." That single phrase has since become the symbol of what's wrong in Cleveland. It's not just about who plays quarterback, it's about a culture that prioritizes control over adaptability. When the confrontation between Shedeur and Gabriel happened, it wasn't about ego, it was about leadership. Players who witnessed it said Shedeur didn't lash out, he demanded accountability. He questioned why the team wasn't making adjustments and reportedly told Gabriel, "You gotta own it, bro." It wasn't the kind of outburst born from arrogance, it was the raw frustration of someone who's been watching his team crumble while being told to stay quiet. But instead of appreciating the competitive fire, some within the organization viewed the moment as insubordination. That reaction has sparked outrage among fans, who see Shedeur as the only one brave enough to challenge the dysfunction. Social media erupted within minutes of the broadcast. Hashtags like #PlayShedeur and #FreeShedeur began trending, with fans flooding the Browns' official pages demanding change. Even national analysts weighed in, saying it was clear the locker room had lost faith in the coaching staff. Former NFL players praised Shedeur's passion, saying, "Sometimes leadership looks like confrontation." The story has since evolved beyond one game. It's now a referendum on the Browns' entire system. The question on everyone's mind: if Shedeur Sanders can't get a chance now, will he ever under this regime? Behind closed doors, the fallout has reportedly been just as intense as what fans saw on the field. Sources close to the team say Stefanski held an emergency meeting the following morning, trying to re-establish authority and remind players that the coaches make the decisions. But that message didn't land the way he intended. Several veterans were said to have spoken up, subtly pushing back on his handling of the situation. One anonymous player allegedly told media contacts, "We play to win, not to protect pride." That quote quickly went viral, further embarrassing the organization and confirming what insiders have been whispering for weeks, that Stefanski has lost the locker room. Tommy Rees, meanwhile, is reportedly furious. His trust in Stefanski has been crumbling ever since the viral practice footage of him training Shedeur behind Stefanski's back hit the internet. This latest debacle might have been the breaking point. Insiders claim Rees left the facility immediately after the post-game press conference, skipping media obligations and team debriefings. While team officials downplayed it as a scheduling issue, others see it as a quiet protest. Rees has been one of the few coaches openly advocating for Shedeur, calling him a generational learner in earlier interviews. Watching his protege get sidelined again, even after Gabriel's meltdown, reportedly pushed him past his limit. The player's reactions tell an even bigger story. Reports suggest that several offensive starters approached Rees privately, asking if Shedeur would get more opportunities moving forward. That question speaks volumes. It's not about favoritism, it's about faith. The team believes in what Shedeur brings to the table: calm under pressure, sharp reads, and an undeniable presence that inspires confidence. Multiple players have said the atmosphere during his practice sessions feels completely different, faster, focused, and energetic. Compared to that, Gabriel's recent performances have looked like the opposite, slow and hesitant. Players have noticed, and they're not staying quiet anymore. By Monday morning, local radio shows and national sports outlets were calling the Browns a team at war with itself. Every insider update paints the same picture: a locker room that's fractured, a coaching staff in denial, and a young quarterback caught in the middle of it all. Shedeur didn't ask for this spotlight, but he's become the symbol of everything the Browns could be if they got out of their own way. And as the noise grows louder, it's getting harder for the organization to pretend nothing's wrong. The Browns are trying to project unity, but the cracks are showing, and the whole NFL is watching. Now the Browns are facing a full-blown identity crisis. The confrontation between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel wasn't just a sideline spat. It was the breaking point of months of internal strain. Reports indicate that ownership has already stepped in, requesting a full review of team operations and personnel decisions. That's not a good sign for Stefanski, whose leadership has been questioned since his handling of earlier controversies involving the offense. Analysts believe this latest blow could be the final straw, especially with public support for Shedeur reaching an all-time high. In just one season, the Browns have gone from a team on the rise to the epicenter of dysfunction, and all because of pride and mismanagement. The media narrative is brutal. Every sports show is dissecting how Cleveland managed to mishandle one of the most promising young quarterbacks in the league. Commentators have accused Stefanski of coaching scared, saying he's more concerned about control than competition. The irony is that Shedeur's confidence and preparation, the very qualities that made him a leader at Colorado, are now being seen as threats to the establishment. The Browns' unwillingness to adapt has turned into their biggest weakness. Even fans who once supported the coaching staff are now calling for change, flooding sports radio lines and online forums with frustration. But while the organization scrambles, Shedeur's reputation is only growing stronger. Despite being sidelined, his maturity through this chaos is earning him respect across the league. Reports say several opposing players reached out privately after Sunday's game, encouraging him to keep his head up and stay ready. That kind of solidarity speaks volumes. It's not just fans rooting for him anymore, it's the entire football community recognizing the unfair situation he's been put in. And as the pressure mounts on the Browns' leadership, Shedeur's moment might be coming sooner than anyone expects. If the rumors are true and ownership is considering a coaching overhaul, Shedeur Sanders could finally step into the role he's been preparing for all along. The question is whether Cleveland can recover from the chaos they created before it's too late. This isn't just about one rookie waiting for his shot. It's about a franchise that's at a crossroads. Either they embrace the talent they have and rebuild trust from within, or they continue to crumble under the weight of their own pride. In the days following the sideline confrontation, the Browns have found themselves at the center of one of the biggest media storms the franchise has faced in years. What started as an emotional moment between two quarterbacks has now turned into a defining chapter in Cleveland's football legacy. Reports have confirmed that the tension didn't die down after the game. If anything, it intensified behind the scenes. Shedeur Sanders reportedly met privately with team executives and select veterans to discuss the state of the locker room, a conversation that, according to insiders, was both respectful and brutally honest. Sources say Shedeur expressed his frustration over the lack of opportunity but also emphasized his commitment to the team, saying he just wanted to help win games. That level of professionalism, especially from a rookie, impressed many inside the organization, but it also raised new questions about whether the coaching staff's resistance is more personal than strategic. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski's grip on the team continues to weaken. Multiple analysts have noted that his recent press conferences feel increasingly defensive, with vague statements about team direction and leadership balance instead of clear answers about the quarterback situation. The public is no longer buying it. When reporters asked why Shadour wasn't allowed to take a single snap despite Dillon Gabriel's visible collapse, Stefanski sidestepped the question, saying only, "We'll evaluate the tape." That response triggered another wave of backlash online, with fans accusing him of hiding behind corporate jargon. Commentators have pointed out that Shedeur has become too big to ignore. The fan base sees him as the spark the team desperately needs, and every game he stays benched only makes the coaching staff look more out of touch. The situation reached another breaking point when former players began chiming in. Retired NFL legends, from analysts to ex-coaches, have voiced their disbelief over how Cleveland is handling Shedeur's development. One former quarterback bluntly stated, "You don't sit your most prepared player while your starter self-destructs." That comment instantly trended across sports media platforms, amplifying the growing narrative that the Browns' leadership might be sabotaging their own success out of pride. It's not just a bad look, it's a culture problem. Players who once respected Stefanski's system are now questioning his ability to lead under pressure. Still, amid all the chaos, Shedeur Sanders continues to carry himself like a seasoned veteran. His demeanor in press appearances and training sessions has become a point of admiration across the league. Teammates reportedly describe him as locked in, focused solely on preparation rather than drama. That mindset is winning him powerful allies, including members of the Browns front office who see him as the future face of the franchise. Insiders believe that if the team drops another game under current management, ownership could step in and make drastic changes, possibly even restructuring the coaching hierarchy to give Reese more control over the offense. If that happens, Shedeur's rise to QB1 could be imminent. The bigger picture here is that the Browns' ongoing crisis isn't just about one player or one argument, it's about identity. It's about a franchise deciding whether it wants to evolve or remain stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity that's defined its past. The moment Shedeur confronted Dillon Gabriel might have been emotional, but it also symbolized a shift. The moment the future stood up to the past. And as that energy continues to build, one thing's clear. The Shedeur Sanders era in Cleveland isn't a matter of if, but when. For more breaking updates, insider reactions, and deep dive analyses on stories shaking the NFL, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Field Talks, your go-to source for everything happening behind the headlines.